Thank you for turning to page 121. Today we're going to take a look at a neat little beastie out of Journal of Travelers Aid Society number 1, the Bushrunner. The Bushrunner? Why would you bother with Bushrunner? Well, I've got a sentimental attachment to this little beastie. I'll explain it as I go through the video. So we're just going to take a look at this one traveler creature and how it was used in a game I played in as a player, and just some ideas of how you could use this guy. I like this little write-up. This is from the original Journal of Travelers Aid Society number 1 from 1979. It's almost word for word reprint of that beast, but this is the electronic JTAZ from a few years ago. It didn't bother me that they rewrote this, and they updated a little bit. There's a better picture, and they have it for modern traveler rules. I have no issue with that. I like that, and it gave me a nice little blast of nostalgia when I went through this guy. So like I said, I'm going to explain why he's important to me, and we'll go over what he is and how you can use him in a game. Also, just a quick reminder, please subscribe. I really appreciate everybody who has. Thank you very much. Channel is growing nicely. I want to keep it growing. That'll keep me being able to do these videos. So please continue to subscribe. Let's help the channel grow together. Also, there's a Patreon going right now. If there's anything you to do to help out, that'll help keep the channel going also. So please take a look there and let me know if there's anything you can do to help out. End of the commercial. Back to this little guy. Today, from Traveler, the old bestiary section in JTAZ, the Bushrunner. All right, the Bushrunner. And why should I care about this guy? Well, it's a neat little beastie. An adult Bushrunner weighs approximately 50 kilograms and is between 1.4 and 1.5 meters in length. Does not say if that includes the tail. Physically, they resemble a cross between a Terran kangaroo and an Eton fruit lizard. Fructoraptor. I like that. Skeleton is calciferous, which means it has calcium. Internal and differs from typical Terran vertebrae only in minor details. So it's a very terrestrial type of creature. Bushrunners are bipedal, using their muscular pair of hind legs for locomotion and a small pair of forearms for food acquisition, and a long tail is a balancing organ while running, and a third leg while assuming an upright posture, and as a weapon when threatened. So very much like a kangaroo, except of course it runs, it doesn't hop. The head of this is the typical arrangement of the brain surrounded by a bony cranium, upon which are laterally paired sensory organs, eyes, nose, and ears, as well as ventrally located mouth. The teeth are arranged in common fashion for omnivores. I don't know what dental formula 2122 is, but that's kind of neat. And faced on the grinding surfaces with a silicate material rather than enamel of Terran organisms. So a slight difference there. Their blood is also, they breathe normally through lungs, but their blood is copper-based, which gives them a blue blood color. Kind of neat little terrestrial differences. I like that. I like alien creatures that are a little bit alien. That's kind of neat. They're omnivorous, can eat fruits, nuts, grubs, and other small forest animals they can catch. I usually find the edges of forested regions, semi-forested savannas, and areas such as bogs where fruit-bearing plants grow in profusion. And then we get a nice look at their stats. So one nice thing about Mongoose Second is there's not a lot of stats for any kind of monster, see the air quotes, encounter. In this case, they have 19 hit points, 9 meter movement, athletics, dexterity 1, melee 0, recon 1, and survival 1. Their tail does 2d6 damage if they strike you with it. And of course, their armor is +1. It's just a tough hide. And they're omnivore hunters. So now we finish out. There's a nice picture of the little beastie. Congregate in family groups of 2 parents and 6 to 12 juveniles. And they reproduce with 2 sexes, which pair for life, producing between 2 and 3 young per season. And that they may have as many as 1 to 3 litters per year, depending on the environmental conditions, if food is plentiful, that sort of thing. Bushrunner meat is quite succulent and a deep blue in color. Large quantities in a short period of time can be poisonous, however, so the meat is usually used as a colorful garnish for certain gourmet dishes. Adult bushrunners of both sexes produce a musk from their glands located in the tail during mating season. This musk contains a compound called sulfatolium, used in the manufacture of expensive perfumes. The compound has resisted all attempts to synthesize it and make a synthetic version, and the musk of animals raised in captivity does not contain it. Therefore, On most planets that have bushrunners, the animals are allowed to roam free and hunted under strict licensing arrangements for the 2 to 5 grams of sulfatilium that can be recovered from each adult. And there's the end of our look at the bushrunner. Okay, why would I care about this unremarkable traveler beastie? Well, one of my earliest traveler games involved bushrunners. It was kind of a what would now be like a side trek or just a side game, but it was just an element of a longer game we were playing where the GM had, we were on a planet that had native bushrunners, and the bushrunners were being hunted, but there were poachers, and the poachers were hunting them down dangerously, getting the population below levels that it could sustain. So we, as the travelers between gigs, our ship was in for repairs, took up as anti-poaching. And this is about a year after I'd started role-playing. So this would have been sometime in probably the summer of '81. And I've been role-playing a little over a year, and I was still very much in the D&D mind frame of where you see it, you kill it. Because let's face it, that's what you do mostly in D&D. So we went looking for these poachers, and a firefight ensued. Almost inevitably, there was a massive firefight that we started with these guys, and it ended up being quite a deadly affair. We lost, I think, 2 members of our party and took out all 6 of theirs. And our party was about, I think there were 6 of us as well. So it was a good firefight, and the firefight itself lasted a long time. There was a lot of maneuvering around, looking for that sweet shot, things like that, dealing with the injuries. And of course, in Traveler, as you get injured, it degrades your statistics, so it makes it tougher for you to stay in the fight. So it was one of my first early big gun combats in Traveler, and it was over a silly little beast like the Bushrunner. And I just thought that was kind of neat. And when I read this over not too long ago, I thought back to that game and I thought, oh yeah, there's a great example of a silly little monster or encounter. I'm sorry, that's the D&D in me talking, but a silly little encounter with a creature that is unimportant to anything really, that led to a big conflict in our game and then just a lot of good memories. That was a very well-run game, a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and I'm very glad that I was part of it. So this little bushrunner, for his little couple of grams of cephatelium, was able to generate a good firefight for us and lots of fun memories. So that's really all I've got to say about our friend the Bushrunner. I realize this video is a little shorter than I usually do, but oh well. That's all I've got to say today. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to see some more of these Traveler Beasties, I like going back and taking a look at some of them, and even ones I've never used before, I certainly enjoy reading. So let me know if you'd be interested in seeing more of this kind of video. And that's all I've got to say today. I want to thank you for your time, and I'll see you next time on page 121.